So at Michigan State, we're very fortunate that we have a very robust study abroad program for all students. 10 plus years ago, when we decided to create some specialized programming, we went to study abroad, and they had some people in place to help design a program that was very specific for people who wanted to get a sporting experience. And because of Michigan State's vast connectivity throughout the world, we were able to create a program quite easily that allowed athletes to really access their sport at a variety of different levels, particularly at the Olympic level in Sydney. Allows them to train with former Olympians, Olympic coaches, all from the country of Australia, and allows them to see just a different perspective on how things run. And the beauty about our program is that it's unique, that we can't find another one like it that takes really the athletic component of what a student would like to do and couple that with a learning experience, not only in the classroom, but in the field of, say, sports medicine or sports science, and allow athletes to access at a very high level in a country that is very sports crazy.
Early in the summer, Jim Pignataro had mentioned to me, amongst a few other guys, the opportunity to possibly study abroad in Australia. The ball didn't really start to get rolling until around late May, early June. And then all of a sudden it was like, okay, we need your information, here's when the flights are happening, and then all of a sudden, before you knew it, we were kind of off to Sydney.
With any study abroad program, academics is really the focal point of the trip. It's supposed to be an educational experience that makes you better as a person and increase your knowledge in that particular discipline. In this program, it was really no different. And it was designed to make sure that they could integrate into the culture, learn about the culture, and get academic credit for that. And so they really looked at the culture of Australians, they looked at the history of Australia, and I believe they learned more about Australia in 2 weeks than they would have if they were reading on the internet and really not taking part in being immersed in the culture.
Study abroad trips offer students a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to become immersed in another culture. But for these student athletes, the first 4 MSU football players ever to take advantage of the program, there were some obstacles to overcome.
Yeah, so I've known Coach D'Antonio since he was here as an assistant, so we have an excellent relationship. And over the years, we've talked about different experiences we can give the guys. We knew we wanted to have some kind of study abroad experience. The question was when. When was the best time that they could be away from the team? As many people know, the off-season is just as important as in-season, if not more, particularly in the sport of football, and we wanted to make sure that we weren't losing any ground there.
It was huge for Coach D to be able to let us go. For him to say, hey, you're able to go do this, it was huge because Coach D is very nose to the grindstone. Doesn't like a whole lot of change when it comes to missing some football or something. And for him to be able to say that and trust in us to make good choices and set a good example for Michigan State and Michigan State football was huge for us.
Yeah, I think it just shows so much to what Coach D says. I mean, he's huge on just making life experiences in itself, and that was one thing that he allowed for us to be able to do, is just make a life experience. Not many people can say they've been in Sydney, Australia, and let alone done a study abroad there. So, and then just the academic side of things, yeah, it's so cool to be able to say, or even to tell a recruit, yeah, if you come here, you can go study abroad. And so it's just an amazing opportunity, and just so cool to know that Coach D really practices what he preaches. And you know that pretty much every college football program probably preaches those things, but how many of them actually follow through in practice and would allow a kid to take 3 weeks out of their summer to go study abroad and have a life experience and an academic experience that they wouldn't be able to have anywhere else, really.
Yeah, what we found nationally is that student athletes were actually an underrepresented group in the study abroad world. This was a group nationally that doesn't have the time to take advantage of such experiences. And I think when we think about recruiting and be able to sit across the table from a family or walk them through some video or some pictures of athletes truly studying abroad, sends a message that we're committed to the holistic development of our student athletes. This isn't just a one area where you're going to really excel in your sport. You're going to not only receive a degree, but you're going to have life-changing experiences that go abroad. And over the 11 years, we've had over 100 student athletes from various sports travel. Now, we can speak to that and say that we have that as a philosophy, but to be able to show that in reality and have these experiences to share with families to say, if you come to Michigan State, this is going to be something that is very easily for you to access, I think is a game changer.
Once they touched ground in Australia, the Sydney-bound Spartans had just 15 days to see the sights and absorb as much of the Aussie culture as they could.
Our location was perfect. We were right in downtown Sydney, right next to Central Station. And then from there, we could kind of get to anywhere. I mean, all the different suburbs of Sydney, which is a beautiful city. In the first few days, we kind of got a whole city tour. walking down the park in the middle of the city, and there's birds flying all around us. There's beautiful colored birds landing on your shoulders. You're feeding them and things like that.
So a typical day, we'd start class at 9 o'clock, and we were about 3 blocks away from Sydney University. And so we'd start class at 9, it would end at 12. And then we actually would work out right after that. The 4 of us would work out at Sydney University at their rugby facility. And then after that, we pretty much, we'd have the day to ourselves to explore the city, but we'd also had like different field trips with the remaining kids from MSU there.
And then very soon thereafter, we went to the zoo, got to feed kangaroos. We got to feed kangaroos out of ice cream cones. It's one of those memories you'll never forget. Seeing the koala bears, even got to see some alligators, different things that you just like. It's crazy to think that these people or these animals are in different continents.
Otherwise, we went to the Blue Mountains. That was really cool. The best example for me to say what it was is it's like the Grand Canyon with rainforest in it. So that was really cool to see, just all the beauty of just a place that's untouched.
There's so many different things that we did that were just like, wow, like we're in Australia. Like this is like you picture of like, okay, what would a trip to Australia be like? And we got to experience all those things and get to see the beauty of the country.
I think it's just the opportunity to, maybe get away from football a little bit. I think so much of the time we're so entrenched in what we're doing, and your mind starts to scramble and things, and be able to go and, have this opportunity not only to get away, but to learn about a different place and meet different people that involved with your degree and different things it was huge. It was just to get away and just to refresh your mind.
It was a really good trip for that. I got a lot closer with these guys. I mean, obviously we get really close with football, with being with each other every single day, but this was a whole different level. We were living with each other, traveling a lot with each other, and so that definitely helped. I got a lot closer with these group of guys, and it also gave us an opportunity to meet a whole bunch of, or a big group of MSU students that I've never met before.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, those are some of my closest friends on the team as it is, and it was just a great trip to be able to go with them, grow closer with them, just experience the things that we got to experience. I mean, for the rest of my life, I'm going to be able to, I'll remember all those memories I made with Jack or with Paul or with Tyler. I'm just working out in the little facility that we were able to work out in there at Sydney Uni, and just all the different things that we did. I mean, it was just a really cool, not only just a fun experience for myself, but just to be able to experience it with those guys, I think is just that much more special, and it just grows and makes our relationship that much stronger.